Good morning, uh, friends, family, and fans of 321, our fabulous French adventure. We are outside underneath the wisteria in front of the pool here, enjoying a little coffee this morning before it gets too hot. It is another warm fall summer day. The sky's a little bit clearer. It's been very smoky down here. There's a lot of fires, wildfires burning right now, which is really just a shame. It's causing a lot of issues for a lot of people, unfortunately. There's a big fire south of Paris right now that's encroaching on some villages and causing some great concern there. So we're watching everything very carefully, but limiting our time outdoors because the smoke is really bothersome. It's killing my allergies, so I'm grabbing the morning time while I can because it's about the only time we can do it. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about transportation this morning and rental cars. So there's a lot of great transportation to get you around in France. They have Europe in general has great public transportation, and France is not alone in that at all. France has regular trains. They have the TGV, which is the bullet train, the fast train. Runs pretty close to 200 miles an hour. Most places gets you there very quickly. I think to get to Paris, if you drive straight through from here to Paris, it's about a 5.5, 6 hour trip. If you take the TGV, it's 3.5, 4 hours with stops. So the TGV goes considerably faster. There's buses, local buses, and long distance buses that travel very well. And there's, of course, Uber is popular here as well for short distances if you need to go somewhere that the buses and trains don't travel. There's also within a lot of the cities they have trams and even some underground trains, what we would think of as subways, in the U.S. If you're in a bigger city, the trains, the local trains, and the trams are easy to get around on, and but if you're in a smaller city or a smaller village like we are in Ronyona, you're going to be looking at the buses as your main kind of source of getting around, or we use our electric bikes and of course Uber. So for instance, if we're going into Avignon and we want to go in for an evening, maybe we're going to have dinner and drinks with friends, go to a theater or something, we will go, we'll take the bus in. The bus stop is just about 2 blocks away. We'll walk to the bus stop, take the bus in. I think it's $2 or $2.50 to take the bus in for us, and we'll be dropped off very close to where we want to be, and we'll go and have our time for the evening. And then when we're ready to come home, the buses stop running around 9 o'clock in the evening. So when we're ready to come home, we'll come in. If it's after 9 o'clock, we'll come in via an Uber, and depending on what time it is, it's anywhere from $15 to $30 to come home via an Uber. So you always want to plan carefully, of course. Like many places, France, much like the U.S. and other places we've been, it seems to be easier to go north and south than it does east to west for some reason. North to south, you can often go on one train without having to change trains. If you're trying to go east to west, oftentimes you'll find yourself having to change trains frequently, and you may be on a TGV, a fast train, for a bit, and then change over to a regular style train, and then maybe change back to a TGV. An example that my friend Eric and his friend were visiting for a few days over the 4th of July, and they were trying to go from here near Avignon to Saint-Jean-Luz, which is in the Basque part of the country, the southwest of France. And they had 3 train changes. We drove them to Nimes, or they would have had 4 train changes. So they had 3 train changes, and it took them quite a while to get there. They could have covered that same distance going north to south in half the time it took and been on just one single train. So it's all about planning and kind of making sure that the distance you're covering and where you're going and how you're going there is appropriate to the time that you have, and that's important. Of course, when we first planned to live here, we thought we were going to not have a car. We wanted to be free of a car and the expense, and just be free to live the French life without a car, just walking and all that. Well, excuse me, great idea, but you really have to be living in or near one of the bigger cities for that to work very well. If you're living in a village, a small village, even like we are, where we live in Rugnona, which is only about 3 hours south of Avignon, so it's kind of the bedroom city of Avignon, you're going to have a much harder time getting to the things you need. And if you need to purchase an appliance or a piece of furniture, or you need to pick up larger amounts of groceries or heavier groceries, or you need to take your dog to the vet, a lot harder to do without a vehicle, without a car. Even with electric bikes, it's limited. It's easier to do in, let's say, October through early May, because the tail end of May through the early September is going to be the warmer season. It's also going to be the tourist season, and that's when things are their busiest. There's a lot more traffic on the roads. It's much hotter. And it is hotter than it used to be. It's a full 10 degrees hotter here now than it was when we were here just 15 years ago. So if you're going to live in a smaller village instead of a larger town, such as Paris, Lyon, Marseille, Toulouse, Avignon, those places are all places of 500,000 or more people. You're going to need a vehicle, and you're going to need to either purchase or lease. We were fortunate enough that the brother and sister-in-law leased us a vehicle for the first 6 months. There's a lovely company that is out of New Jersey, and it's they lease to specifically U.S. citizens, and they lease to you for up to 175 days at a time, and then you go and turn your vehicle back in. And you can lease it for another 175 days, but it has to be in someone else's name. So if a married couple were to go in, you could lease it in one person's name and then take it back and lease another vehicle in someone else's name. They're lovely vehicles. They're all brand new Peugeots, and they have everything from the tiny little Peugeots up to the big vans, so you can rent a vehicle that's appropriate for you. It's not necessarily cheap. For us, it was about $1,000 a month, which is relatively expensive, but the insurance is included, roadside assistance included, all of that's included, and it's a good solution when you first move here and you're trying to figure out your way. Now that we're here and we've figured that out, of course, and we've had to turn in our car just this past week, we're purchasing a vehicle. And that's a whole nother video, but that is an experience on its own, and you will need help with that. There are specific people that help you do that, and I highly advise you hire them. But owning a vehicle here is a whole nother thing, and you will need a French license. You can drive on a U.S. license for the first year you're here, but if you're going to stay beyond that time, you will need to take your French driver's test, and it is in French. And it's not just a written test. You also have to take some driving courses. It's about $500 for that. It's about $40 or $50 for the written part of the test, $500 for the courses themselves, and then you do have to go and take an actual driving exam. All of this, again, is in French, and the driving exam will be with a French driving instructor, or a French gardier, the French police, the French driving people. And that has to be in your first year that you're here, if you're going to pursue a French driver's license, which you will need to do if you're going to be here and stay here longer than a year. And you'll need to get French insurance. To do that, you will have to go through some hoops. There's some documentation you'll need. The big takeaway for this is you will probably want to bring with you your driving records from wherever you have been for the past 10 years. So bring those with you, your driving records for the past 10 years. And be prepared to have those along with your driver's license that you left the States with. And, if you were in two places like we were, as we had a New York driver's license for a couple of years and a Texas driver's license, you might run into some problems getting those from over here. So do make sure you get those before you come. And we'll do another whole video on that, because purchasing a car and getting insurance and going through your driver's license here in France deserves a video all on its own. But the big thing for today is that there are lots of ways to get around here. Most places are pretty easy to get to, and you can get to a lot of them just by walking or on a bike, on the bus, on the train, on the tram. But a lot of it depends on where you're located, and you can live without a car if you live in the bigger cities. But if you live in the smaller villages, which are very quaint and do have a lot of the things that you need, but you will likely need to go into the larger cities for things like appliances and things like that. Maybe doctor's appointments, specialized doctors, maybe vets, if you have animals. Those things you may have to go into the larger cities for, so you will likely need a car to go to those larger cities. And you should be prepared and think about those things in advance, because once you get here and thinking about them and the cost of them and everything, it's harder to navigate that from here than it is to navigate it prior to coming. So hope I've given you some things to think about today. The best part of it is you're living in France, and nothing is, it's all doable. It's all doable. People are very helpful, and it can be done. You just have to give a lot of thought to it and put in your due diligence, put in your work ahead of time. The better prepared you are, the better time you're going to have. And isn't that what we're here for? To embrace this fabulous country, assimilate into the culture and the lifestyle that they offer, and just have a better life here, and enjoy what it has to offer. And that's how we look at it. So we prepare ourselves and do all the work, and we're here to share with you. So hope that's helpful. Always glad to talk to you. Please leave your comments and questions. We're going to do a question answering video here soon. And till then, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us and listening to us. À bientôt and au revoir.